Yeah, no trades today. It's just in my zone, but so far decent for the week. And this is the last trading day, and I am up a little bit. I did take two trades this week. I won the first trade 65.50, and then I lost $49. So I'm slightly up. If I do the math, 49, I am up 16.50, which is okay, not the greatest. And so far this week, even though I did have a winner and I'm up, the trades weren't the best. And I'll break down the trades now and break down this week of trading. Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. Breaking down the first trade of the week. It is a Monday, and what I see is that we're just at all-time highs. And I just marked out my pre-market high right there on both markets. And we are right now in uncharted territories, so we don't really know where the market's gonna go. It can just keep going really high. It can just go up a bit and then there just fall. So we don't really know. And there's no supply levels up there, so sometimes it's kind of hard to read the market when we're at all-time highs. And that's the only level I had. And I did have downside as well, but we're pretty far down that I wouldn't really short the market unless we actually break the levels and my demand levels. And I'm basically just following the trend. It's a common thing. You hear it a lot, just follow the trend, and sometimes I'm not able to do that. And some of the trades this week I did not follow the trend, that's why I lost, and I'll show you guys that later. But I do want to break down the trade. Going into the 2 minutes now, this is what I see in the morning. I just see a break above the pre-market high that I marked out on each market. This is the Nasdaq, this is the ES. So I just saw both markets break up, and that's what I like seeing. And then I just honestly had a risk reward. I just had a risk reward of 3-to-1 and did not get a 3-to-1 because I'm still working on my take profits and all that type of stuff. Basically it broke above the pre-market high. I didn't take the ES because it wasn't as strong as the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq just looked better, so that's why I took the Nasdaq. I know that it didn't retest it properly, the pre-market highs, but I had a risk reward of 30 points. And then I was targeting a 3-to-1, which actually did hit at the very end of the day, which is just too risky. That was like 358 or something, and it's just too risky to actually go to that zone. And I don't like holding my trades all day. My trade was working out and I could have gotten a 2-to-1, but I just sold out because I had to go somewhere and I didn't really want to stay in my trade all day. I don't really want to manage my trade honestly when I'm like working out or doing all this other stuff. I do need to work on that though. I do need to actually work on like holding my trades longer. If I'm being honest right now, the trades that I'm taking or this month, it's very different because we're at all-time highs and I just don't know where the target can be because I don't know where the supply is. That's why I'm trying to be more protective, but still I can do a better job of just like trailing my stop loss. The grind on the upside is just really slow. You just never know when it will hit, and it may take all day like this. I should have at least gotten a 2-to-1 here, and I did not do that. So that's like my part. I only got 1-to-1, which sucks, and I did make $65. I'm gonna show you guys a live trade now. Here is the live trade where I entered. If you're just looking at the chart, I like the Nasdaq better. It just looks more cleaner, and I like how it was a bigger break and it had more room to retest. That's why I gave it the low. ES was just like too close to my zones, didn't like it as much, even though it was like less risk. And I do have a full breakdown of this trade in my previous video, so if you guys want to watch that, probably got a better entry, but I just kind of hesitated a little bit. But it is what it is. 30 points is very comfortable for me, so that is $61. Right now the trade is like failing because the ES is like failing down this level, and I'm getting a bit scared. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should exit the trade, but I know that I have to trust it, and I still have my level down here that I just can't exit the trade. And yeah, I just kept holding, and then it actually did a nice wick above this. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. See how this candle right here, it just did a nice wick up there. Once I saw this action, I'm like, okay, this trade is actually looking good and that I can hold it because ES did a nice break and retest of that level. And if I got the ES right there, I would have lost the trade. That's good, I got the Nasdaq. And sometimes it's weird because you literally get in the right trade, but you just choose the wrong market, and that's why you lose. I mean, I could have gotten, or like my stop loss could have been this low, but that's just too much of a risk. I basically got my 1-to-1 here, and I still don't move my stop loss because I normally don't do that until I get at least a 2-to-1. But honestly, it's really depending on the trade now. I'm still like playing around with the stop loss because I just don't really know what I want to do. And it may differ for each trade, especially for upside because it's just very grindy. I'm just not wanting to hold my trade all day. It goes to like 100, which that's very nice, but that's still not my 2-to-1 target, so I can't like put myself to break even. But eventually I move it to break even, and that's like a better, I can just like ease off my emotions and just like chill because it's still like building. But I thought I was gonna get my at least my target sooner than later, but it just like took all day, and I just like, you know, I don't know. Later day I came back and I saw this like huge ass wick, and I already moved my stop loss, so I was like just chilling, went to the washroom, did all this random stuff, and I came back, I saw this a huge wick. The volume was still not there, and honestly I probably should have like just wait for my 2-to-1, or at least like target my 2-to-1 instead, or just trail my stop loss. But what I did was just I literally just exit the trade because I didn't want to be in the trade anymore. Like I was okay with locking up this profit, but that's honestly not a good mindset because I only got 1-to-1 and that's not the greatest. Because I could have locked it up here and have a better risk reward, or at least a better win than just like when I see it fall down, that's when I exit the trade. But then I lose more profits for doing that. Making sure that my runners win is actually the thing that I need to work on right now. So yeah, I just got $60 and then that's the end of this trade. Going to Tuesday, did not see anything I liked. I had my levels charted out, but we're just in the middle of my zone here, so I don't take anything, and that's basically it. The Nasdaq was a bit chopping down up here, but the ES was still above the previous day low, so I just can't take it. So all I did was just not take any trades. Wednesday comes along and we do have FOMC, so I'm not really interested in taking a trade, and the volume is like usually slower and it's kind of hard to trust. And I did see my break and retest right there, but I knew that the ES was kind of chopping around the previous day lows. It also had my pre-market low right there. It just like too close and it wasn't aligning that well, so I didn't take the trade. This trade here makes sense because it's the break of pre-market low. That means it's weak. Even though the ES was just like kind of chopping around the previous day's lows, the Nasdaq was weak and was actually breaking down a level. Going to Thursday now, and this is where I lost $49. I saw the break of the previous all-time highs, so I did try shorting it. And this is probably too little of a confirmation that I needed to see, and then I just took the trade anyways. And then ES was just like breaking down the previous day's highs. The market wasn't really breaking down yet, and we still are in a bullish structure, and that's why I lost the trade. Even though it did break the previous all-time highs on the Nasdaq, it's that the market's still bullish and we're still all above the previous day's highs right here. And that's probably why I lost. And also, this is not enough confirmation for me to take a trade, and I did it anyways. Here's the live trade on the Nasdaq. I like how it did reject here, and then I was waiting still and it was still rejecting, so then I took the trade right there. It looked good still. I gave it the wick high over there, and then if I just fast forward this trade right here, it looks like it's working. It literally was just breaking down straight, and I was like, okay, maybe this trade will work. But then I just, it just wicks back above me, and then I just lost. Maybe I could have put my stop to break even here, and I was just like zooming out to see if there's actually any levels there, but there wasn't. The only thing I did wrong was like I was shorting against like the bullish market, and that's why it just randomly wicked up there. What I should have done was that I should have waited for this level to get back above and do a retest long, because that is the previous all-time highs. And I shouldn't do any shorts until it breaks. I shouldn't even short unless it breaks this level right here, or at least this level. Since we're still strong and since we're still in a bullish market, I shouldn't even be shorting. Later day, it just goes back up, and then I just lost the trade. If I actually waited for the market and I know that I wasn't going to short this, I could have caught this trade right here because it did break above and gave a retest long. I could have got a nice trade right there, but what I did was I just tried shorting the market when it didn't make sense because we're in a bullish market. That's why I said you should follow the trend. It's so simple to understand, like follow the trend, follow the market structure, but we always tend to do the things that are against it. We just do opposite things. When we see a trade, when we see some sort of confirmation, we try taking the trade, and that's what I did today, and I failed to read the market today. And then coming Friday, we are just again at all-time highs. This area right here is all-time highs, and I was waiting for a break above that for a retest long, but the market just failed there. And you could have short that, but we're still in a bullish market, so I'm not trying to do that anymore. I'm up a little bit for this week, and so far this month hasn't been the greatest. Honestly, just the price action is just not the price action I like seeing. We're just going all-time highs all the time, and it's just a different market condition that I wasn't good in the past. And I am doing better now, but I'm still failing a little bit, but I am getting better, and I just need to wait and be patient for my actual setups to happen, and then I can catch a good trade. That is it for this week, and what I like to say is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day, and I'll see you in the next one.